for 2027.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Does everybody know where that tip comes from?
Well, I feel like it's, go ahead and just clarify. I feel like I do, but go ahead and just clarify.
I'll let the
I think you can do it better than me, Mr. Landis.
The tip was what we used for the Dick Edwards property there at 77 and I-70. That's how that was financed, to kind of fix that area, because the company couldn't just do that on its own. So they took the property value of their property on Grand Avenue and the new facility out there, and the property taxes generated from both sides, improving that property out there. And set it up whereby if they sold the Grand Avenue property, they would still have to be responsible for the amount of revenue that was generated by both sides, regardless if they only had one side or not. So that's why it was done that way, but that's what's used to pay that debt. So they have to generate so much sales tax revenue to cover their base, and then anything beyond that goes.
24 or 26 and 27, the interest, some of them has service fees, and that's also included in the interest payment. One thing I do want to point out, if you look at 2016A, where their debt payment's 4.455000, so 4.4 million. That payment cuts almost in half next year. For 2028, the payment drops to 2,475,000, and then 2029 it drops to 2.2, and then that will be the last payment on that debt payment.
So 4.4 million drop in annual debt payments for those 2 years, 2.2?
Yep.
So just for discussion purposes, this year alone,
Mm-hmm.
the debt service has dropped by 2 million.
Commissioner
No.
Panera, could you pull that? Yeah, thanks so
So
much.
the debt service alone, just this year, dropped by 2.2 million.
28
Excuse me?
next year. 28. 28's budget, sorry. So 2027's payment would be 4.4, and then 2028 will be 2.4,
Okay.
and then 2029's would be 2.2, and that would be the last payment on that one.
So how much did the debt service drop this year?
Like overall, like in sunset payments, so it'd be, yeah, a couple 100,000.
The big drops don't happen until after 28.
Yep, it'd be 28, 29, 30, 31. And then after 31, you'll have 400,000 and geo debt, and then you'll have your enterprise funds, and then all of your other revenue funds below the KDOT would be paid off as well.
And we have some bonds that we're just paying principal on, correct?
Correct. And then you have some bonds that are weird, like the 2021 bond, it's the payment, when it originally started was 600,000, and then it dropped. And now, as you can see, the principal payment is 35,000, and then in 2029, it goes back up to 100,000, and then it keeps going up after that. So this form right here, the statement of indebtedness, you can find this on the state's website as well. We have to submit it every August. This is what I will be submitting to the county plus our lease purchases to the county for our statement of indebtedness, and they publish it to the state's website.
How much has the budget gone up dollar-wise based upon all the proposals on everybody's wish list?
A little less than 39, a little more than 39 million. I don't have my actual, but it's like 39.1 or 39.2.
What's
Is it
the,
million or mils?
Millions.
Million.
Yeah.
what's the R&R number on the middle?
42,989. Or 984. 42,984. So what's the tax levy across the 5 accounts?
Say that again.
What's the tax levy across the 5 accounts that we're going to tax levy? $10,276,958.59.
Just hypothetically. 240,000 per mill, correct?
Yes.
So 6 mills would be 1.5 million reduction.
Yes. But keep in mind, if you lower 6 mils this year, that's your new tax base for next year. So if you lower it by 1.5 million to, let's just say you lower it to $9 million, $9 million will be your tax base next year, your tax levy base. So it's just not for this year, it's for next year as well.
But once you do that, then you have the interest payment next year, reduction is how much?
2.2, or 2 million,
2 million next year.
yes,
Reduction
from debt service,
from debt service.
yes.
So what is the strategy on the bonds that we're only paying interest on? When do we want to start paying principal on that?
So principals on the ones that you're only paying interest on start in 2029 when everything is paid off. Or when the big ones are paid off, that's when so your 2021A that's mainly your interest only payments. But your big principal comes back in 2029.
So that's the way the bond is set up, and not start paying principal until then?
Yes. And the principal payments were heavy in the beginning and then they was just interest, and now the principal payments are coming back slowly. 2029, it goes up to 100,000, 150, 200,
One of those sets will expire then?
2034. Yeah. So you'll have 3 years of $500,000 payments.
Okay.
We good to move on, Mr. Bernier? Or you still got questions?
Can you separate out which each department, some of the things that they've asked for, like
Of course.
the lift for the,
I already took that out.
what's that?
I took that out of the budget.
You took it out?
Yeah. Your body language said so.
What's that?
So your body language said so. So,
It did.
yeah.
So you don't know about what one commissioner thinks then?
Well, I mean, it was more than one. We're not going to throw anybody to the wolves, but the consensus that I was gathering, and I'm just making assumptions. That's why I'm trying to get to the revenues, the debt, the revenues, and then we could talk about the budget.
Carry on.
Oh, he?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
We've got a lot to get through here, so we don't have much time.
Okay, you good to move forward?
Did you take out anything else?
Not yet, sir.
Okay, so just the lift, right? So if we ask you, or one commissioner asks you, or 3 or 2 or 1, the things that would be new acquisitions that are not needed, such as the scissor lift, can you sort those out by department?
Yeah.
Can you ask?
But who's going to be the determining factor if it's not
Who
needed?
decides they're not needed,
Yeah.
sir?
What's that?
Who decides they're not needed, sir?
The difference between what must have,
You said who, that's a pronoun. What person decides it's not needed? That's what I'm asking.
well, give them a shot to say what they think is not needed, let them propose.
The directors?
Well, you would ultimately, but in consultation with them. And I've said this before, and this commission hasn't really expressed itself, but we've had statements from the previous commission that let's take care of what we have, not acquire new things. So I think that direction from that commission doesn't apply to this.
Doesn't apply to this one?
It's not.
Okay.
But if that's my goal, is to not do things that are not needed. I wanna take care of what we have.
Well, some of the equipment is what we do need to take care of what we have, like the lift.
I think if it's okay, I'd like to make a couple comments. Number one, if it's okay, I would love to keep going, to have time to go through everything, if it's okay. I think that's a good plan. But also, I had a chance to meet with Mr. Wilcox yesterday, did a great job teaching me so much, and we had conversed about a potential retreat, maybe October, November, to do some more training. But also, I also learned that before September, so I think if we get through the day, and my understanding is before September, you called it a budget hearing, before that, we have a chance to visit with you, to spend some time, your office is already open, to give our input as you work on the budget, and that way, am I?
But if we speed through the revenues, we can open it up tonight.
Okay.
Or we can open up tonight and come back to the revenues. The revenue is very simple, sales tax, different funds throughout the city, user fees. If you want to skip the revenues and come back to it and just open the floor and have a discussion on what you want to see the budget shape like, we could do that too as well.
Quick question.
Yes, ma'am.
Can you remind us of our budget timeline, and through that, how many more budget meetings we can have to have these conversations in consideration of next year?
Yeah. Timeline is, are you pulling it out, Mayor? Yeah.
Please do go ahead.
I don't have the dates memorized, so assist me. I think we need to have the budget hearing. I have it set for the first Tuesday in September, but you can have it anywhere between August 15th and September 20th. It has to be certified to the county clerk by 5 o'clock on October 1st.
Understood.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
But we could open this, we could completely pivot right now. How'd you print that so fast? Oh, we could pivot right now and have a budget discussion of what you guys want to see the budget shape like, and then I can come back first meeting in August with a proposed budget.
Here would be my request, open to consensus or otherwise through this. Question to lead into my request. Once we complete the discussion today, which is slated for revenue, debt, and mill levy, what other subjects would need to be addressed by the commission, sans comments, questions, concerns?
It would be, how big do you want your sandbox to be? So a sandbox can only be so big, and how big do you want it to be is the next question. And so what do you want to see as fund for that year? Do you want to see more money towards streets? Do you want to see more money towards parks? So forth and so on.
Okay, so what I'm hearing then, this is my first year doing this, is we've kind of trudged up the mountain, we've received requests, we've tallied the numbers, we're at the top now,
Yes.
where we're advising this is what we know, and then we start skating downwards of
Cutting.
what direction do you want to
Yep.
take this? That's what I'm hearing.
Yes,
Okay, and we have time to have those conversations.
yes.
Beautiful. So my request would be, let's get through the revenue, debt, and mill part today, because I think that would help me with some of the questions I'm going to have.
Okay.
And then we should probably plan on having a budget session dedicated for comments, questions, concerns, requests, etc.
Perfect.
Not sure what the other commissioners feel, because I also have things that I'd like to address, but I think I'll need to get through these pieces to come in fully informed.
I agree. Okay, I think we can go forward with that. I'm seeing nods.
Okay, perfect. So we're going to just move to sales tax. When you think about sales tax, I'm just going to keep this at a 30,000 level view. I'm not going to get down in the weeds, but I'm going to try to explain it the best I can. When you hear sales tax makes up of three components. It's the sales tax, the comp use tax, and we have a community development district tax, which would be, if you're not familiar with it, it's Goodies and Burke's next to Walmart. So right now, last year we got, between the three, we collected 4.3 million, 4.3? 14.3, 14.8, sorry. My numbers were covered up. 14.8 million total. And then this year, we're already pacing to be at 15.3.
We've already taken in 15.3.
We're pacing, tracking,
Say that again.
Forecasting.
forecasting, thank you. On track to get 15.3.
So that alone would be how much more?
$500,000.
$500,000?
Yep.
And how much do we have in reserve? you've talked about what you like to have several months in reserves. What, 3?
We have $28 million in investments. You're going like way off the rails.
Okay.
Like, but I'm gonna answer this question, but you're going way left. Like,
So could we continue with what the commission had a consensus on and come back to that? Could we move forward with what Vice Mayor had mentioned? Are we?
can I answer his question real fast? It'll be real fast. $28 million in investment, $6 million in reserves. 28 investments, 6 million reserves.
You've said before, very often, how much reserves are recommended, just how many months. That's what I'm asking. Is that not a good question?
It is a good question, but I thought I answered it when I answered the last one. So it's 3 months reserves. You want 3 to 6?
3 months.
Yeah, 3 to 6. Yeah.
What's the total then for the 3 months that are needed? Approximately, I'm not asking.
The 6 million we have.
What's that?
6 million that we have.
Okay. The 6 million we have is enough reserves.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Five tax levy funds. You have the general fund, debt service, fire equipment reserve, economic development, and the library. So when we look at these funds, we're approving, you're approving the budget for all 31 of our funds. But there are some funds out there that are enterprise funds, which would be our sanitation, water, wastewater, and stormwater. Yeah, and then there are some non-appropriated funds that we can't budget for, which is the state and federal asset forfeiture. ARPA doesn't need to be budgeted for. Opioid doesn't need to be budgeted for. The list goes on, but there's 31 funds total. So when you look at sales tax, we always hear, why is Jamel budgeting $7 million for sales tax when we're taking in $14 million? The sales tax is split up between the two funds. The general fund and the debt service fund. So it goes, if you look at, I don't have the report here, but so last year, if you look at the actuals, there was $7 million put into the general fund from sales tax, and there was $7 million put into the debt service from sales tax. Comp use is broken up a little different. We got 2.7 last year, 900,000 went into debt service, the rest went into the general fund, so like 1.8 million. So how we're gonna fund the budget whenever we get there, we talk about what you wanna cut. We'll start looking at the packet. We're only gonna look at a couple pages, like the first 10 pages is the meat. Where's my page 1? One of the commissioners said they wanted historical data, so I printed a 5-year revenues. Yes, but for some reason that print's weird. The first column is your actuals, and the next column is your budgeted. Where on a normal paper, the first column is your budgeted, the next one's your actuals.
I'm gonna ask a real stupid question.
Okay.
So the first column does say budget, and the second column says activity on mine, so,
Are you on the 5-year?
correct. You're welcome to approach and look at mine if you wish to compare.
Hold on.
I'm assuming it's correct because all of these budgets have 0 cents, whereas activity is showing various cent amounts.
Yeah, perfect. That's perfect. Because on my screen it's reversed. So that's perfect. That's how it should look. It should look budget than actual.
Love that.
Okay, perfect. But that's your actual, your 5-year look back on reserves. And I could do the same thing and send it to you for expenses before the next budget workshop as well. So we're just gonna jump into the general fund revenue. The biggest thing that you'll see increase is the ad valorem tax. It goes up on the general fund, $800,000, $900,000, I think that's $900,000, and that's just generally capturing the increase on the appraised values of the real estate. Sales tax kept steady. Sales tax is also, we get a portion from the county as well. I'm on page 1, sorry. I'm on the budget summary, account summary for fiscal year. Okay. Yeah, sorry, I lost my train of thought. Yeah, so we also get a portion from the county of their sales tax as well. So that's what you'll see is the county sales tax as well included with the city. And then again, the comp use. Comp use just has been going up year over year. And then the other revenues, so you'll have the same, if you go to the top where it says property taxes, that 04, the 300 series at the very top on the first page,
General in lieu.
yeah. That will be, we use the same levies.
What
The
number,
prop-
what number is that?
The 300 series, the very top.
Page 1 still, okay, thank you, okay.
We use those same funds, the ad valorem, delinquent tax, motor vehicle, recreational, to fund our 5 tax levies. So when you think of ad valorem tax or delinquent tax or motor vehicle, it's funding 5 funds, not just one. It'll be our general fund and the 5 I named earlier.
Is there a pop quiz at the end of this?
No.
There should be.
Why?
See if I remember all of this.
No. Even if you don't remember, it's my job to educate you so you can remember. I'm not here trying to make anybody look stupid or try to get you hot gotcha moment. I really want everybody to learn what I do day in and day out.
No, this is good information.
And so we're just gonna jump around because, like I said, they're gonna go save a life. I think our biggest revenue increasing is the golf increasing their membership fees. So you'll see across the board, across golf, it'll increase about $80,000. They're on pace right now to make 710-ish, 720-ish in revenue.
What page is that?
Sorry, page 5.
5.
5
Page 5.
at the top. It just says rolling metals up in the middle, above emergency services. No. Page 5 of 39?
Oh, it's
You're on the
page-
wrong
page
one.
6. Are we looking 5-year?
No.
Oh.
The 5 years just for your record. We can't, okay, so let's back up. We can't look at the 5-year because the 5-year does not print 2027's numbers.
Okay.
The 5-year was only printed for historical data. Got it? Okay. Page 5. We'll see an $80,000 increase right there because the increase in golf fees. And then I'm just gonna, because the revenue is generally sales tax, special highway fund, connecting links. I'm just gonna hit the main ones because the small accounts, like some of these don't even have revenue, and some of them are not even budget for revenue. So I'm gonna tell you what page to jump to next because we're gonna jump right to the enterprise funds to talk about the water fees. Once I find it.
Page 12 ish.
Yep. Page 12. At the bottom. It would be line item 362, water user fees. And you're probably thinking, why is it still the same from last year if we dropped rates? We're on pace right now to get $7 million and a little over like 7.1 in user fees, even with the cut. So if you take the 290 that the $2 and decrease does, it gets you about $6.8 million. So that's the difference there. So that user fee, although it's still the same as last year, it's calculated to be what we should collect with the decrease in water fee. The next one would be on page 13, the same thing with that user fee. It's a $500,000. I know you're looking at 2026 and it's like, wait, 2026 is 8.2. Yes, that is correct, and it's $500,000, but we're on pace right now.
What line item are you on?
362 as well on page 13.
Thank you, okay.
It'd be right under wastewater revenues. So if you calculate that, if you go back to 25, that's 8.4 million, and then we did 8.2. You take a $500,000 away from that, you'll be back at the $8 million. And I think we'll still, with the decrease, we'll still collect $8 million. And that's how the enterprise funds are funded. It's by user fees. And the other enterprise fund would be the sanitation, and then the last one would be stormwater, and that's going to be on page. Stormwater would be on page 15. And that user fees is under the second one, under stormwater administration. And then the last one would be on page 18, and that's going to be sanitation. And I really want to just use the last 30 minutes to have an open dialogue. If you don't mind.
Remember, we would either going to one trash service or having a franchise fee for all the different trash services that beat up the houses.
We haven't drafted any documentation yet. Britt and I have been discussing with it about which way to proceed. Do we want to recommend to the commission of a franchise fee or just make it illegal to serve inside the city limits? We haven't decided what to bring to you yet, sir.
Probably worth the discussion sometime.
Yeah, it is.
Can you catch me up on that topic? I feel like that was discussed last year at one point.
I think it was discussed last year. So the city has its own sanitation service, but there are numerous entities that come inside the city to pick up trash services, but the city gets no gain from it for their use of the roads and the alleys from their heavy trucks. So the city sucks all that up. So this is the first city I've been in where external sanitation services are authorized inside the city.
The city charges itself a franchise fee that goes to the general fund from the trash fund and the enterprise fund.
But we don't
We don't do
charge.
that to anybody else. We tried to do it at one time, and we're threatened with a lawsuit because they said it was illegal in the state of Kansas or something like that. Ruben can fill us in, I'm sure, but something's got to change. They shouldn't be getting off scot-free, and I think we should do it. I wish we had, recycling program, which is common many places in the U.S., but anyway.
So what would the franchise fee look like?
Can you pull your microphone down?
Are we
Thanks.
paying like $200,000 a year in the general fund from trash, or what?
That would be a Jamel question. I don't know what the dollar figure is.
While Jamel looks that up, what kind of external trash services are we seeing coming into the city? Is this commercial?
Waste management.
Waste management, Howies, et cetera.
It's residential and some commercial as well. I mean, that's who they serve.
Does a citizen have the ability to opt out of city trash services?
Yes, they do.
Okay, and so
That's
how
why
they're-
this is the only city I've been in that actually does that.
Interesting. Okay.
Usually there's an ordinance that says you must use the city trash services.
Those services will take everything that you have out there. Couches, big stuff, we don't really do that. We'll pick up bunches of limbs, a couple cans, and that's it.
Yeah.
So that's kind of their selling point.
So the reason we're seeing that activity is partially because there is a competitive nature regarding the extent of the service.
And we are the cheapest provider of all,
So
no question.
So we still cost less than those other services, even with additional, because I know one time I got rid of, I think, a mattress or something, and it was like another $30. I called the city, they tagged
The
it.
city can do a
Yeah.
special pickup.
Yeah,
Special pickups.
so even with like special pickups and stuff, we feel that we are still cheaper than those alternative options.
Commissioner, Vice Mayor, what was that question again?
Is the city services cheaper than going to outside services like Howie's and the
Trash
other?
service.
From what we understand it is, we haven't went and indulged into seeing what they actually charge right now. I know when you sign up for these other services, you're on a contract to do for so long, like 3 months or something, and then you have to renew it, from what I understand.
Could we start the process of even research or comparison or comparing, could we start the process, and how long is that process? Is it something that could be captured in this particular budget timeframe, or is that something for next?
Theoretically, it could be captured in this budget timeframe, but that would be a lot of work before then. I would advise do it.
Yeah.
I would advise we do it for next year, because that'll give us time to add the numbers up of what's going to cost, additional costs for us, for vehicles, personnel, et cetera.
I agree. I'd like to see this prepared for next year's budget conversation for the year after next year. Mr. Stites?
Well, there's a thing called the OCS, Organized Collection Service, that can take 18 months to set up. Lawrence, as well as either Lenexa or one of the city in the Johnson County area, has gone through it for recycling and trash pickup. And that's been the way all cities are going when they redo it. That's a new statute's been in place for a little bit. That's why before when we tried it, it went through. Because you can't do a franchise fee if you do the OCS. You cannot do a franchise fee if you just
It's one or the
put
other.
it on there. So
Okay.
but there's a way to do it. It's just one thing is there've been a lot of things, a lot of fires put out, but that's something that we can do. We can re-educate the commission and maybe start that process. And regardless, it's a process that encourages and requires dialogue. So the OCS can do that.
Okay, I'd be interested. I'm out the gate. I'm not interested in just forcing citizens to give us money, especially if we can't say that it would be a better deal. I mean, candidly, if I can get a cheaper deal elsewhere, I'm not going to blame people for being interested in that. But I at least like to have the numbers and the process so we can start having that conversation.
Well, I think something that we started also was this twice a year area-wide cleanup. And so if there's a conversation about another service picking up couches, well, we now have something that we didn't have before.
I've always heard that it's cheaper. I don't know that for a fact. I have city services, but from clients that purchase homes, they say it's cheaper. Manhattan doesn't have their own trash service, so it's all done by separate companies. What do they do to collect upon those fees, franchises? Do they charge something for the use of roads and things like that? Do we know?
I have no idea. It's the first I heard that a city didn't have its own sanitation service.
That
I've
is
never heard of
correct. Yep. When I lived in Manhattan, you could pay for trash and then like pay extra for recycling, although there was, I think one company went under, so then a bunch of people ran into an issue where then they had to figure out what to do with their trash, and then the other company couldn't accommodate all these. It was a whole to-do. This was
There's
years
plenty
ago.
of trash companies in Manhattan now.
Yeah, I'm just speaking from my experience. That was something that came up. Quick question, Commissioner Nimzik. When you said it's cheaper, were you referring to the city or to private services?
Private services.
Understood. Thank you.
That's what I've always been told. I don't know because I've never looked.
Certainly. Thank you.
I just did a quick,
The thing about it is that we've got 3 or 4 sets of trash trucks beating up our alleys every week, and they don't pay a dime. And for someone that's an alley person, that's the problem. I mean, my alley it's gone. So it's probably one of the better ones around. So we're not getting anything out of these guys. They're continuously chewing up our roads. We don't fix the alleys because we haven't had any money, because we have so many streets we're going to fix. But I think in the future, I think we're going to get an alley plan together and start tackling some of these. Now, we've got to address the trash thing first and go with one provider, and then that will help things going forward.
I disagree with you on there first. I think we need to address the alley issue first, because the trash thing is gonna take 18 to 24 months or longer to get it in place.
We're not gonna fix every alley.
No, but we need to start fixing some of the alleys now. So that's what I'm getting at. I think we need to focus on the alleys first.
We can get to
Conjunction together,
one service.
but yeah, yeah.
Great.
I agree, tandem efforts will probably be the move here. Well,
Any
I
other,
learned something today, that's cool.
any other conversation?
I would just request before we end this meeting that Mr. Wilcox delivers a brief recap of R&R and mill levy expectations once more to take us home. Sans any other comments, questions, concerns, just prior to adjournment, just a refresher readout of that information.
Can I decline that, or do I have to do it?
Do you have to what?
Can I decline it, or I have to do
I
it?
don't think he's ready for that right
Yeah, hold on. I just want to, let me circle back. I just did a simple Google search, looked up fees. We are the lowest. There is another company that is the same as us, and there's a company that's $90 a quarter, which is $30 a month. And if you want to see what we collect in franchise fees, if you look at page 1 of the budget, it would be under franchise tax category 33. And we collect franchise fees from the electric company, gas, telephone, cable, and telecommunications.
For gas, is that like house gas or vehicle gas? I'm assuming this is house gas.
It'd be Kansas Gas.
Okay.
Be like Kansas Gas. And is there another one? I think Kansas Gas is the only one in town. Electric would be Evergy and DNSO. Telephone would be, telecommunications would be Brightspeed.
Cox,
Cox.
Twin Valley.
Cox would be cable as well.
Oh.
Yeah.
They get double franchised?
No, but I'm just saying they could fall under that as well.
Okay. Fun.
So you can add another one there and put trash services.
I know there's excitement about lowering the mill levy so much, and I get it. It's very easy to lower it. It's not easy to raise it. I don't want to get over debt. So we need to lean in hard on this and get us through the end of 28, and then after that, things are gonna get much better.
It gets a lot easier after that.
Mayor, may I say something? Let's talk about just taxes real quick. I understand people want to lower taxes. I totally get that. I do too. But in order to lower taxes, you got to pay your taxes. We have millions of dollars in revenue that are not coming to the city because people are not paying their taxes. Millions. I'm getting the numbers together for you now. It'll be at the next meeting, and they're public numbers. You got people in this city that are sitting on boards that owe a lot of money to this city. A lot. So I went to the commission, I got the numbers, and I'll bring those to the next meeting.
That's excellent. Thank you, sir.
Did you email that out?
I think
That may be the first version. I got a better version later
I
on.
didn't really look at it, I just saw it.
I looked myself up. I was not on that list.
You know, at Main Street, when individuals apply for the facade grants, part of the criteria to receive those grants is to make sure their taxes are paid, something like that. When we have groups that come forward and request funding, is there a way to work some kind of system out with that?
Yeah, so what we do is, in the past, I've had the tax list at the codes office, and when people come in for a permit, they want to add a deck for their house, they owe taxes, they don't get the permit. There's things like you can do on that, like when people, because I know developers in this city owe taxes. They want to come in and buy a lot. If they owe taxes, you don't sell them the lot. Because there's a lot of people on that list. I think you're going to be surprised.
Do we have a way to know that? Do we have a legal, is there a system that needs to be in place? Do we have a system in place?
I'd have to ask Britton, but from what I've seen, where I've been in the past, it's legal to hold permits and such if you owe taxes. My last city, they actually hired an attorney firm to collect delinquent taxes. There was so much in delinquent taxes. As soon as the ordinance was passed, the people started writing $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 checks to pay their taxes. But then they rescinded it a month later because the commission thought they were hurting people's feelings.
I'd be interested to know what the cost of acquiring delinquent taxes is against the taxes being collected. That's not a today request by any means, but as we navigate potentially that pursuit, I'd be interested in knowing what the cost of that pursuit could look like.
Pro forma for firms.
Yeah, it has to do with the law firm, because as the legal people know, when they send out notices and stuff, you get billed for that notice. So every time they contacted a person who owed taxes, that bill went to that person. It did not come back to the city. And so they knew that if they didn't pay their taxes, all those additional taxes or bills were gonna add up. And so they quickly wrote checks. But like I said, the commission said they thought they hurt people's feelings, so they quit.
How long is the, I thought it used to be 5 years before tax sale. Is it still 5?
That was gonna be my question.
I think it's 2. I think it's 2.
It used to be 5, I don't know.
Do you know what it is, Britton?
I don't know offhand, but I can check with Ms. Edwards.
Where I came, the last cities were always 2 years, but I don't know what is here. I know that the initial list I got was up to 4 years, so we had people owe taxes for 4 years and nothing's been done. Now, where I came from, and most cities have a tax sale once or twice a year, the county just had their first one after 4 years. So that's part of the problem. You know, people are gonna get away with not paying their taxes if nobody does anything.
I'm just curious, if it is 5 years, maybe we could change it to 3 years or something like that.
I agree, we gotta take a look at it. Like I said, I just got the information this week. I gotta sit with Brittany and come up with a plan and brief the commissioners.
Is it a city decision or a state
No,
decision?
it's a state decision. The state law, I think, would have to be changed to accommodate the suggestion. It's uniform, and Mr. Stites could research it, but I think it's gonna be difficult to change the way they collect taxes. The county could,
Yeah, if it's state, it's gonna be real
the
difficult.
county could do one every year.
Tax sale, yes.
Does the topic of vacant buildings come into play in regards to budget and sales? And we had some conversations.
Yes and no. So I'm waiting for a list from Chris, he's supposed to have it to me here soon, on all the condemned buildings in the city, which means they're vacant. Because we got a lot of condemned buildings in cities that are just sitting there, and that plays a part in this too. Because sometimes nobody's paid taxes on them, they finally have the tax sale. You get so far behind on delinquent taxes and properties and stuff, it's hard to catch up. It is hard to catch up. So that's what we're fighting right now, trying to catch up on it.
Let me put a bow on this real fast so we can wrap this up. Recap, R&R is 42.984 mils. A mil is 239.
I'm sorry, start over. Say that again?
R,
That's the recap that I had requested from.
yes, because we're getting close on time
I
and,
didn't write it down the first time.
okay, it's actually on this page, it's in the box.
It is on there?
Yeah. Yep. In the box. It's 42.984 mils. If you're out visiting people and they want to know, if you're at conferences, they want to know what a mill is in Junction City. For the city levies, it would be $239,088. We don't have a meeting until the 21st, and I have to let the county know by the 20th. So I do need a consensus on if you're expecting to seat R&R or want to keep it at R&R.
It is my number one priority to be at R&R. Ideally below it, but I know better than to ask for that. I'm gonna be real hurting if we go above it.
I understand.
I'm gonna be below it.
I also need 3 to be in favor of that.
I'm in favor of
So,
it.
I think I'd
That's
like more
good.
than a consensus. I think I'd like to go ahead and take a motion maybe.
I make a motion that the city commission forms a consensus that we strive to be at or below the R&R.
Second.
Is there any further discussion? All those in favor respond by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, say nay. Motion carries.
I will let the county know in the morning that we're not expecting to seat R&R, because we have to notify them, and it has been in writing, so I'll write it tomorrow and send it off.
Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Move to adjourn?
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor respond by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, say nay. Motion carries. See you at 7.